Hello, Gerry, and welcome to the Martin Talk Show. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to hear about your show, A Gerry Christmas Carol.
That's right. Thank you very much for having me on.
No problem at all.
Yes, my favourite book since I was a child is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I was only 10 when I was given a present of a book that looked like this. This is not the exact one. This is A Christmas Carol. And I've loved it ever since then. And back in October time, I realised that it's practically got my name in it. Because my name is Carroll, an Irish name, spelled C-A-R-R-O-L-L, not the same way as you spell Christmas Carol. But I thought, Gerry Christmas Carol, what a good idea for a title. And then to put it on in August, which is in Edinburgh Fringe, the oddity of it emphasises the actual story. It makes it, I think, makes it stand out a bit. Lots of Christmas things going on. We associate Christmas Carol with Christmas, but it's a story of transformation. And for some reason, I was only 10 when I read it, but one of the things that stuck with me as a shy boy was that the ghost of Jacob Marley says to Ebenezer Scrooge, "It is required of everyone that the spirit within should walk abroad and travel far and wide." As a shy boy, I found it very difficult to let my spirit walk abroad. And that's really what this story is about. Focused on the miser. Why is he a miser? Because he's afraid to let his spirit free.
So this is a story that you wrote yourself, a version of A Christmas Carol. Tell me a little bit about the story that you're presenting within this show.
Well, the story that I'm presenting is going right back to basics, as they say. It is the text of Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, shortened a little bit so that it lasts for 45 minutes. But all of the words are Charles Dickens' words. So I do it as a story. I only put in little bits to explain things that are odd, that actually I never understood until I did this. And we get bits about the young Cratchits brought Tiny Tim outside to hear the pudding singing in the copper. What does that mean? I just accepted and skipped over it. But in those days, a poor woman at home had an outhouse, probably beside the loo. It was also an outhouse in the 1840s. And they had a bowl called a copper. And this poor family it's probably made of tin, I don't know. But this bowl, metal bowl, was put above a fire. And you filled the bowl with water, and the woman had to stir the clothes in the water to clean them. On Christmas Day, that's where you wrapped up your pudding and put it in the water to boil. So I put in a little explanation about that for the audience. But otherwise, the actual story is all in Charles Dickens' own words. Why is it so popular? Because it's such a good story and told so well by Dickens. And I hope to let the audience see that.
Now, Gerry, you sound to me like you're a true storyteller. It seems to me that storytelling is who you are. Where does that come from? Where did that start? Did that start with the discovery of A Christmas Carol?
Well, thank you for that. It's difficult to say. I was a shy boy. I didn't tell many stories, perhaps. Maybe for some of us, telling a story can be a way of expressing ourselves without revealing too much. And maybe that's what I've been doing that's why I've been doing my shows up to now. But where did it begin? It began with trying to express myself. I used to do acting, and yes, I do love telling stories, though. And that's one thing I have found out from doing this as a straightforward story. No jumping around, no singing, no dancing.
So what does this look like for the audience then, without giving too much away? What kind of production is this? I'm imagining you, Gerry, now sitting in an armchair with your book, maybe a pipe in hand or a beer in the other, and that's just the impression that I'm getting. Some maybe by the fireplace, but what does this? I'm completely making this up as I go along. But what is this show going to look like for you?
Well, it'll be me actually standing most of the time, possibly sitting sometimes to illustrate, but mostly standing and talking to the audience and bringing them along into Charles Dickens's world, into my world. So, yes, it will just be me dressed peculiarly like this, and yes, telling a story. A little bit of music at the beginning.
What audiences do you hope will find this at Edinburgh? We're in the middle of summer, so it's seen as a Christmas story. So how will you entice your audience in to come and hear the story that you've put together?
I'm offering the earliest Christmas party of 2025. That's one thing. I'm hoping to get people of all ages. Usually, people of all ages will find this a good show. It's nostalgic, but the thing I'm really emphasizing to people is it's Christmas. Have an early Christmas, and also to think about the celebrations of Christmas. And well, you can come and celebrate Christmas with no shopping, no guest lists, no having to go to Uncle Joe's for tea or anything. Just have a Christmas party, and then that's
the story of A Christmas Carol does the meaning behind it is about transcending all year. It's about it's not a story necessarily of Christmas time. Like you say, it's a story of transformation of a human being, and that story doesn't have to be at that one time of year, and that's the lasting message at the end. I'm thinking of one of my favourite versions is A Muppets Christmas Carol with Michael Caine. That's one that I grew up with, and I pretty much rewatch every year. I love it so much, and that's the final song in the piece: is let this message last all year.
Yeah, that's it. Scrooge is not just for Christmas, and it's a message of transformation, and that comes in. The spirit of Christmas will live within me, he says, and he becomes a changed man, and it's obviously not just at Christmas time.
As a man as well, in my middle age, I kind of feel like I have a different understanding of Scrooge than I did from when I was a child. I have an understanding of more empathy for the man now I'm at this stage of my life than what I did earlier on. I wonder if you have discovered different versions of this story throughout your life, and how it has influenced your life, and you've felt a connection at different times.
Yes, well, one bit that I feel connection with is where Scrooge says to his fiancée, who says that another idol has replaced me, golden one. And he says, this is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on which it is so hard as poverty, and nothing it pretends to despise so much as the pursuit of wealth. How can you pursue wealth enough to have a family without losing your heart? What makes what makes you want to do it. Scrooge loses the fiancée, because he can't keep his eye on what's properly important.
Well, do you take any lessons that you would give to others? Like I say, I found connection with Scrooge at different times in my life. I found that there was a point in my life which I thought that money was the most important thing, and I had a young family, and so I worked in a bank for a number of years in the pursuit of money because I felt like that was needed. But 5 years on, I came to the conclusion that wasn't what was needed for me and my family. And I wonder if you've discovered anything of advice there for men to take on, for family men, for and women, of course, for anyone.
Well, I too used to work as an accountant, finance, things like that. I'm retired now, so it's probably easier for me to give up all that, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to pursue, to go for it, as you did, obviously, when you left your finance job. Yeah, just do it now. Don't wait until you're Scrooge's age. You don't know how old he is. He's presented as quite an old man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait. Do it now. Be a bit brave too, like Scrooge. Some people laughed to see the change in him, but you let them laugh. So you have to be ready for that.
Yes, I did. I had that when I left the bank. I had this was 10, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I left the bank, actually. And when I left, I had an email from someone that worked there mocking me for my decision to leave. And I think, actually, stories like A Christmas Carol gave me that courage to do so, to take that leap and start enjoying life rather than the pursuit of money. And I think I think that did so much more for my family, for my children, than if I'd have stayed and earned wealth.
Yeah, that's great. I hope that my presenting of Christmas Carol will do that for other people as well.
I do too, and I think it will. I think somewhere like Edinburgh is an opportunity for engaging with new audiences and giving a new audience a new perspective.
Yeah.
So tell me about your hopes for the Edinburgh Fringe as we're a week away from the Fringe beginning. As you look to the next few weeks, what are your hopes and dreams?
Well, I hope to have good-sized audiences. I'm in a 50-seat venue, and if I can have 10 people in, that would feel like an audience. They won't be embarrassed looking around thinking, I'm the only person here, and there's two of us. We better pay attention. So if I can have a fairly decent-sized audience, that's the main thing. That's very much the main thing. Get them in, get them on the seats. And I hope that I'll relax and enjoy it. That's the other thing, to enjoy it while it's going on. Sometimes I've been very focused on getting more people in and forgetting to enjoy what I'm doing. Those are the two things. Get them in, whether they're in or not, enjoy what I'm doing.
Because I guess these lessons that we saw in A Christmas Carol, enjoying the present, being in the now, experiencing this moment, because it doesn't last forever. And before you know it, the ghost of Christmas future will be upon us, and everything changes. So yes, it's a great thing to be looking forward to. Is that just being there and enjoying it. And so going back then, the ghost of go through the ghost. So for you, if the ghost of Christmas past was to visit you at this moment before you was to enter the Fringe, where do you think that ghost would take you?
That's a very good question. Where would you take me? I think back to the first Fringe. First Fringe I went to. I live in Bournemouth, and I moved to London in 2013. I'd never heard of the Fringe. I moved at this time of year to do improv comedy, and there was nobody around, and I didn't realise how big Edinburgh was, because everyone had gone to Edinburgh for August. So I think it was the next year that I moved. The whole city seems to be taken over by shows, performance. So I'd like to relive that again, the surprise of it's a beautiful city as well, but the surprise of finding so much going on. It starts at 9:30 in the morning, and it goes on until the last show is at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. So yes, I think I'd like to go back to the first Fringe and experience it fresh.
For the first time. How many times have you been to the Fringe then?
8 or 9.
And apart from your first time experience, what's been your fondest memory?
There was one show that I did called Young, which was actually another storytelling show. I mixed up stories of there's an Irish legend about Oisin, who goes to the land of the young, comes back to Ireland, and he's been cursed by a fairy. There's a condition on him going back to Ireland that he should not touch the ground. But when he touches the ground, he instantly turns into an old man. And I wove a story of my own life around that. How did I end up an old man? As if it happened overnight. And it does. I had very small audiences, 2 and 3, and someone, Elf Lyons, who was a clown teacher, who at the time had a big following on Twitter or Facebook, whichever was big in that year, about 3 years ago. I think it was Twitter. She retweeted stuff about my show, and on the very last day, I was sitting there waiting for people to come in, and I had a full house, about 65 people. It's recorded. That's the other thing. That was the show that we recorded that year. But I can see my face looking around saying, wow.
How did this happen?
It's a full house. Everyone's here. And it was brilliant. This is kind of a depth in an audience when all the seats are full and everyone's paying attention. So, yeah, that was my best experience.
And how did that feel, being in that environment of a full house and the accumulation of all the work, all the effort that you've been put in to see everyone arrive?
Well, I was very happy. It just made me very happy. And at the beginning then, resolved to do a really good show. The show did go well at that time. It worked. And the people enjoyed it. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Gerry. I'm looking forward to seeing a Gerry Christmas Carol. Where will I find you in Edinburgh?
It's in a lovely little venue called The Attic at the Mash House. It's just the tonic venue. It's in Guthrie Street. It's just off Cowgate. The Mash House itself is a very big venue, and my attic is a smallish room at the very top of the house, and it's on at 20 to 3 every day.
Are you not having a break?
1 day off, the 12th of August.
Good. you need a moment to re-energise, don't you?
Yeah.
If you can. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Gerry. Like I said, I look forward to meeting you at the Fringe. And I'll be sure to share a link in the comments below for where people can get tickets.
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks again. And if anyone has been watching or listening and joining us for this conversation, we appreciate you for listening in. Thank you. Bye-bye.